Okay, let me just, I don't remember how we turned on the Zoom last time. I think I just do it on the computer. Let's see. I'm just logging into the Zoom so we can start the meeting. And of course, Zoom is installing updates. Okay.
Aí. Full house.
That's right. All right, let's see. All right, so we got the Zoom up and running here. And Antoinette, Roman just joined. So Antoinette, we were talking about, there's a meeting on March 15th regarding the comprehensive plan. The updated comprehensive plan, which is something that gets updated by state law every, what is it, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, something like that. It's a pretty important document because basically every single law and ordinance and everything that we do in the village has to comply with what's on the comprehensive plan. I don't know that that's always necessarily something that people are thinking about, but it is absolutely what needs to happen. So it's a pretty important document, especially with regards to sustainability and resilience, because it has to do with building and like future land use, things like that. So we were invited by the village manager as a group to attend. Everybody has it. Everybody has it on their calendar. Excuse me, I need some water. So it's a Wednesday, March 15th at 6 p.m. So if you're available to attend, it'd be great. It'd be great to have as many of us there as possible, because I know it's going to be pretty important, and there's definitely going to be some elements of sustainability and resilience. I just wrote an email to the manager to see if he could send us maybe some information on what's going to be discussed and any kind of changes, so we can kind of prepare and have some comments, even if not everybody's able to go, if we can just submit some written comments. It's not going to be something that we're going to be able to vote on, but at least as members of the board, we can provide some input. We talked about Earth Day. So the foundation is going to be doing some Earth Day festivities on Earth Day, which I believe is Saturday, April 20th, 21st. Let's see. April 22nd. And so they're going to be spending the day there. So one of the things that they had approached me about is having some involvement from our board. And one of the things I thought would be interesting to invite sort of local businesses that have to do with sustainability, maybe something along the lines of solar energy. And so if there's anybody that you can think of between now and then, like in the next few weeks, of who might be a good organization to invite, that would be that'd be great. So we can get that ball rolling and maybe have a couple of tables of local people. I see Commissioner Oliveira's there. Let's see. So Commissioner, you can go ahead and unmute if you want to see if everything's working here.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for the invite, Alexander.
Thank you. Sorry for the last minute.
Oh, no worries. Give me just a couple minutes on the video and I'll say hello. We have a fresh out of the package newborn here, so we just got
Oh, wow.
got a couple things going on.
Congratulations. Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
But very much looking forward to just kind of observing your meeting tonight like we had discussed. And obviously, I didn't really prepare anything specific. But any questions that anybody has for me, obviously, I'm here for that as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we wanted to discuss was with regarding the bioswales and maybe any kind of comments you have on that and if what you might need from us on the progress of that, the bioswales.
Great. Awesome. That is great. I appreciate it so much. Yes, we are hoping is this the time? Are we in that agenda item? I kind of feel like I'm jumping in here.
No, this is the time.
Okay, great. So we're looking to do a pilot program. The manager has let me know that he believes we have some funds, and I had spoken with Alexander at length recently on this. We'd like to see if we can go into some of the areas that are most affected, and we know we're doing the stormwater project already, but sort of just in conjunction with that and with your input and direction, some type of pilot program, and I know you're probably all familiar with what some of the other municipalities are doing with regard to bioswales, rain gardens, mitigation and such. We would like to pursue doing the same, really, and we have some budget. So that's what I bring to you.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's something that we've talked about in terms of, resilience and flood, planning for flooding and things like, I mean, Kate, I know it's kind of like your area of expertise. And I know you had some conversation with the commissioner as well. And I mean, in terms of what other municipalities are doing in the region, I mean, the only one I really know about is North Miami, that stormwater park that they created out of that repetitive flooding home. The city bought back the home in conjunction with FEMA. It was like a repetitive loss structure, they call it, I think. And they created a park there that basically houses stormwater during heavy rain. But I don't know, maybe there's other things that the commissioner has found or that Kate knows about that would be interesting to hear about.
Yeah, I mean, we had talked a little bit about this already, but just adding more detail to what I found is after I spoke with the commissioner, I did look at that old drainage report that was completed for the village, and it did identify some of the hot spots. So what I was thinking of doing is that report didn't, from what I could tell, I didn't look at every single attachment to it, but of updating a map of those hotspot areas so that we, as a board could look at those areas to see if there's any potential area to do a swale, like a bioswale there, so that we could do process of elimination to see if there's any room, because like you were saying, we have to have land nearby, and there has to be enough room, obviously, open area to do any, to have the possibility of doing some type of pilot project for swale. So like a bioswale area. So I was thinking of putting like a GIS map together, presenting it, give it to you guys, and then we can kind of scan those areas in process of elimination and then provide it to the commission.
Yeah.
Based on what we've reviewed, this has some potential area and pros and cons of each of to see if there's even any sites possible. They have enough area to do some type of, small scale project.
One thing, do you remember almost 6 months ago, 1 year ago, there was like Miami-Dade Commission coming here and doing kind of one-day conference for, okay.
Yeah.
I was here at that time. They collect information based on the map. Everybody puts some dot and things where the flooding points are. Maybe we can retrieve some of this information and use.
Yeah.
Because I think not everybody was from Biscayne Park that day. Was a little bit more expanded, but the area was that one. So maybe we have already some feedback, real feedback.
Yeah.
Could use that and combination of it. The drainage report, obviously, is very detailed and
Yeah.
related to, we could take that and if we could get a hold of those maps, if they did anything with that after that, event, that would be good.
Yeah. Was Commissioner, were you at that meeting?
I am familiar with Miami-Dade Waterkeepers. I don't know if they're the ones who put on that meeting. I recall attending something, but by Zoom is really the way that I had attended. And thanks for the reminder, Katie. It looks like we have leadership cities that we could be following. But I just feel like this is a really great place for us to start, right? We have a little bit of money and we can, with your help and with you as a board sort of kind of telling us where to go, maybe you have, some spots in mind. I know we had spoken at length, Katie, about making sure if it's the medians, respecting the root systems of the trees and such like that. So we do have some larger medians, but I don't know which ones are going to coincide with those really dramatically problem areas. So I'm hopeful that this conversation moves forward. And we can get some results here with regard to just in line with, right, at the same time as our major stormwater project, can we be looking at some of these options as well, right? Multi-channel mitigation, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know from the manager. 'Cause I don't actually know. I don't know where I would find the information about where the next planned drainage projects are, because probably we wouldn't do it where they already have planned something, to happen. But it would be good to have, him on board, and maybe at the next commission meeting, you could maybe just like have an agenda item just to find out like what the I don't know if it's what's the status of it or what the areas are, or maybe it doesn't have to be at a commission meeting. Maybe it just has to be like, just kind of like offline. Hey, where are these? Where's the next phase of the project happening? And at least so everybody's kind of on the same page and we're not like doing work that's gonna, not make sense for the project that's happening already.
Yeah, or I wonder if it could possibly make sense to, because like, let's say there's 6 areas, right? And there is a
Yeah.
construction schedule, by the way. And I
Yeah.
know we do have an agenda item already tomorrow regarding the construction schedule. So I
Okay.
believe that's going to be kind of clear and we should be able to share that with you. I believe it's even on our website. It's just a little difficult to find. I did find it a couple of weeks ago, but it wasn't as easy for me to find it as I would have liked. So
Okay.
I know we have a meeting tomorrow. I believe we have one of the 6 areas already done.
Yeah.
So is there a benefit to going into an area that's already been done and proposing either in a private residence nearby or in the median in that area? Something like this, that's something that I would kind of look to you all for in terms of the advice and the plan or proposed plan. Because I'm ready, I feel, and I'm sure maybe you all do too, I feel ready to speak to residents, right? Hey, does it interest you if
Yeah.
we could, do this? Would it interest you on your street for us to do this? So it would be great to get to that stage. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, we should start the conversation, and that would be something good to at least get rolling in the commission meetings, to start that conversation and maybe just kind of like get the word out there. And yeah, in terms of, what that would entail and if you would be able to do something that's kind of like piggybacked onto existing projects, that's not my area of expertise, so I really don't know. But it would be nice to at least start getting the word out. I think regardless, the first step is going to be doing some kind of a study. I don't think we can just like go ahead and like build something. But if we get engagement from the residents, maybe there are some things that the residents can do on their own in terms of rain gardens and things like that. And it would be interesting to hear what can be done in the swale, because even though it's public property, it's also the responsibility of the homeowner. So maybe there's some latitude there on what a homeowner can do to kind of create a rain garden on their own swale without having to go through the whole process of, permitting and things like that. I don't even know how that would work, but maybe
With
that's
some
something
type
that
of
could,
infograph, how-to tutorial, I don't know, something easy that homeowners can take on almost on their own, but that contributes to the mitigation of this great issue, right? Is, I realize that, sort of a larger project, the water park and all of that, that's kind of a bit down the road. And
Yeah.
also we have a resiliency study that's owed to us that's not here yet, but
Yeah.
so some pending items coming down the pike, right? But in relation to the 6 problem areas, and maybe some of you are familiar, I had somewhat hoped that would be able to say, oh yeah, I know this area and these people or this median could make sense for something like this pilot program.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the problem areas that they just finished is right behind my house. It's 121st and 11th. So it'll be interesting to see how, I mean, I know there was a first big rain literally like the day after they finished installing it, and there was no flooding. So that was a good sign.
Okay, that's
but-
positive news.
Yeah. So I was very happy about that. I mean, I don't know in relation to previous, rain events, how that compared, but I do think that it would be good to just start that conversation and getting residents involved. And there's probably people in the community that actually also are, well versed in these areas. I know there's at least one person that I've heard of that had reached out to one of the other commissioners, and I think has like kind of some kind of PhD that has some knowledge too. And so engaging the residents on the conversation, we might be able to get a lot of useful and free information just by having the conversation.
Exactly. That's what I'm hoping to do, is create some buzz around a pilot program.
Yeah.
Right. And let's say it's $10,000 a year that we have.
Yeah.
Is that one swale? Is that, part of one median? What is that annual, on an annual basis that we can go, attacking this problem and getting some forward movement in conjunction with the major mitigation efforts, right? I think that especially the education piece is really big for homeowners. Maybe the bioswales, rain gardens, that piece. It seems to be what people in Key Largo are doing this. In the Keys, we have to take on some of it ourselves also.
Yeah. Or even just something as basic as, the driveways. We had the opportunity to pass a driveway ordinance where we didn't allow impermeable surfaces in the soil. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but it's a new commission now. So, maybe
Right.
we revisit
think
something
you've
like
got
that.
support there. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And I think you've got support there, and certainly those of us who are, getting driveways done are looking to not add onto the existing issues, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. So that education portion is a big part of it. So I think that's definitely fully support on my end. And I think, our colleagues are here on the board probably are on board with that too, right? Okay.
And so I think how I can contribute is I will look at the drainage report that was done, and I will highlight those areas on a map and then have that for our next meeting. And I could share that with you as well, Commissioner.
Okay, great. And then, obviously if I can get any, detailed information on the construction that's ongoing, I'll share that. I'll share that, with you so that you can, have it amongst yourselves.
Yeah, the other thing would be interesting to have is what Daniela was talking about from that meeting. It was like that community sustainability flood resilience planning meeting. I don't even know. It was from the county. It wasn't the foundation one. That was something different. I believe it was something different. I think that was organized by the county, and like I don't know if it was like commissioner or something. Durham. Okay.
What did
Yeah.
they,
I actually got a meeting, email about it today. I'm trying to find it. But I don't know, if it sent additional information or.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to have it this second, but if you find it, then you can like forward it just so we can see what the next steps were on that. Because one thing I think is really important, I know a lot of people are doing a lot of things right now in the community, and I think we have to not operate in our own vacuum here and make sure that we're not doubling up on work that's already been done, and definitely being in line with plans that are already in motion by the county as well. And the good thing about the county is they're very collaborative. Everybody that works in resilience in the county is like really, they want to work with us.
okay, so Miami-Dade County is making resiliency efforts also. Everything I've seen so far has been more on a local level. But very interesting to hear, especially if, if we can get involved and become, a little bit of a squeakier wheel. Maybe we can get a little more access.
Well, our village is actually part of they call it adaptation action area. And so it's part of the Little River. There's a name to the adaptation action area that Biscayne Park is part of because of the canal that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Found the email. It's Biscayne Canal Adaptation Action Area is what it's called. That was what the.
Okay.
Okay.
So the email just says, if you want to view our meeting, they have a video of it. If they want to, or if you want to see the video, or they have available, and then they ask for more videos and photos of flooding in our community. And then just says, stay tuned for our next meeting. But, at least it has the contact information. So possibly maybe we could reach out to them and.
We were sharing that day picture and thing I sent to my house and thing, and there was flooding, there was collecting
Yeah.
evidence.
Okay. Okay.
That's great. I mean, again, I think all of these avenues are useful. And at this point, there's so much momentum, going on that we have to keep it, we have to make it our top priority, amongst our top priorities as well. Right. So being involved, I think is key. I know Wednesday, Miami-Dade Waterkeepers and the mayor of El Portal are having their second executive session. I know some of us are attending from the commission board. So certainly we'll have a report back on that. I'll make sure that gets shared with you all.
Yeah, that would be great. Actually, so that's the organization that I was thinking of. I don't know if you were, well, no, I don't think you were on yet. So there's an Earth Day event that's going to be happening from the foundation on Saturday, April 22nd. And one of the things that we thought about, because they had reached out to us about being involved, is maybe inviting some organizations and local businesses. And that organization, the Waterkeeper, would be great. I mean, it's Earth Day, so maybe they already have something booked, but maybe if you want to connect with him and just kind of like propose, maybe they can set up a table. That would be amazing to be able to have them here.
They are getting a lot of funding now. They just received a really big award. So I know that they have quite a bit of funding, and their sort of information campaign is up and running, and it's really great. So it's interactive. My partner recently went to an event that they were there at a food and wine festival, right? At a vegan food and wine festival. They were
Nice.
there. And she said, oh, look, it's the water keepers, they had a whole setup. And so they've got the information campaign and the branding, to get the education out there. They've got that part. So surely, do we charge for that, for them coming to have a booth at our Earth Day, or what's the deal there?
I don't know. That would be a question for the foundation. I don't think so, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if that's something that we would charge for.
I'm guessing we would want to waive it if we are.
Yeah, I don't see why we would charge for that. I mean, I guess I think that unless it's serving as like a fundraising event for them, but I think pretty much any event they do is kind of like a fundraising event. They don't like directly charge you for being involved. But again, I'm not really too involved with the foundation, so that would be maybe a
Yeah.
question for I had spoken to Tiffany Hill, I believe is her last name, at the
Mhm, yeah.
foundation.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Newly appointed. Okay, so Earth Day event, BP Foundation. I'll see if we can't invite. Maybe they've already got the conversation going. Who knows? But you're right. If we communicate, then that's better. So for sure, we'll reach out.
Okay.
And I'll shoot you a message to let you know
Perfect.
how that went, to invite Miami-Dade water keepers. April
Awesome.
22nd, right? I've seen the event.
Yeah, let's see. Let me just confirm it. I'm pretty sure that's the date. Hill. So April 22nd, yeah, 10
Perfect.
to 3 p.m. at the rec
Okay.
center. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Okay,
Okay, so
So a
let's
couple
see.
of action items for me. I've got,
Yes.
so no worries there. I'll send you a follow-up at the end of this week with regard to the stormwater projects schedule. I'll let you know how it went at the executive session. It's really the second one. Commissioner Kennedy went to the first one. And I know a couple of us have RSVP'd for the second one, which is this Wednesday morning in Little River.
Okay.
And then the Earth Day event, I'll check in with Jill or Tiffany and see what's up with Miami-Dade with the water keepers, and see if they can show up.
Great. Okay. And is there anything else that you wanted to bring up while we have you?
I think that, yeah, I appreciate that. Well, you guys obviously are welcome. I'm really pleased to finally meet more of you and say hello. It's been really great so far. I know quite a bit about the history of the board, being that it's, I live in Biscayne Park for the same reason that you all do. So, it's just beyond commendable that you all spend your time doing this in our area, which is so necessary. And I really look forward, and I hope that we can get something off the ground for individual residents and use our dollars in a way to positively impact our residents, especially in these areas that are flooding so much. Right. Not to mention these rain gardens and bioswales, they're really cool. They're something very cool, and they're attractive, and it's something to do outside. So I just feel like there is no negative associated with these projects, and I think on a home by home basis, it's doable, and even for those, for those residents who maybe aren't, able to do it themselves, I don't see why we couldn't get together a volunteer group and go over and, and get some of it done for our fellow neighbors. So let's see how it goes. This is a great start to the conversation, and I appreciate you inviting me, Alex, and Katie. Your time earlier this year was invaluable. So thank you for that as well.
Thank you. All right,
I
so,
will let you get back to your meeting and I
Yeah.
will jump off.
all right, yeah, so I caught a little glimpse of the little one there, so congratulations again.
Thank you. We're foster parents. So, yeah, so now and again, we have a tiny one around.
Yeah, all right,
So, yeah,
that's great.
yeah, here we are. Team No Sleep.
All right.
All right. Have a good
Thanks
night.
again. All right, you too.
Thanks.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda was the website content. I was trying to remember. We started talking about that, and who was it? Do you all remember who it was that had approached us about adding content to the website or about giving input on the content? I think it was the manager, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So we kind of each had those elements of it that we were going to talk about. What I forwarded to the group was basically just it's a big document, and I just kind of forwarded it to make a point that the law, the IRA, which is like all related to funding for sustainability projects in the home, it's like pretty complex. So I think that one of the things that we could do as a board would be maybe focus on just a few elements of it and kind of like try to help educate the residents on what it is that you can actually get from it. You know, so that you have like the electric vehicle credit, you have the solar energy tax credit. There's like maybe 3 or 4 elements of it.
To any of the like state government programs or applications.
Yeah.
184 pages.
Yes. Yes. And that's a guide. That's like a residence guide. So like imagine the actual law is probably 840 pages. So so that was like the one part of it that I, thought that we could contribute. And I know that each one of us had some elements that I think Daniela was looking at, maybe solar in general, and then
I start with the solar as a looking for, and then the first article was the most interesting. Start extracting as part the tax credit for
yeah,
private owner and thing.
yeah,
I
yeah,
believe it's still like should be kind of priority prioritization list. The first 2-3 articles should be the
Yeah.
most interesting.
yeah,
But that you got too much in detailing weird things. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have to follow up with Mario to see if he was the one that asked about.
the article I was looking was between page 12 and 15. It was 4 pages with interesting stuff for the private owner.
Right.
So
Okay. All right. And Antoinette, did you or Will, did either of you all, because I think that was at the last meeting we talked about that, and we were just looking at some different elements that we might add to the website if we had some input. And I don't remember.
I don't think I about that, but I'd be happy to like give some articles or I've got like PowerPoints of like climate change and health or like benefits. Of,
Yeah, that'd be really good. That'd be really good. Yeah, okay, that'd be awesome. Okay. So yeah, I think so. What I was looking into was like the IRA, that the law. Daniela was looking into solar. Kate, we were looking into native landscaping, I think.
To go back and look at my notes, but I think it was the tree ordinance.
Oh, that's right. Correct. Yeah. Okay. And then, so yeah, I mean, anything, Antoinette, that you would be interested in, anything related to what we're talking about that you think might be useful for residents to have access to, that would be good to have. So, and then whatever we come up with on that, maybe like before the next meeting, we can just, each one of us send an email to Shantae that she can share with everybody. And then that way on the next meeting, we can kind of just like vote and say, this is what we want to propose to be on the website, and then let, the village decide what it is they want to, what they want to include.
one thing you mentioned a couple of times, kind of electric car available for the village and things. There is something happening, like
Not that I know of. I think that it's definitely something that I think we would have more support for nowadays in terms of like when they need to replace vehicles, because a lot of the vehicles are leased. And for some vehicles, it probably makes more sense than for others. So like, for instance, the permitting vehicle that Toyota RAV4 out there, that would be like the ideal vehicle, because I don't think that person brings that vehicle home. I always see it here, and it's just like driving around the neighborhood. So that's like textbook version use case of where an electric car should be used. So I've been keeping an eye on that when they do the budget, and I didn't see that one came up, but I think that for the price that we pay for that vehicle in a lease, we could get an electric vehicle.
Okay.
So that would be definitely something interesting to keep in mind. But I don't know when the lease ends on that vehicle. But even if it's just starting off with one vehicle, it's a good, gotta start somewhere. Let's see. Oh, Kate, I see what yours were here. Yeah, so you had Durham compliance, Miami-Dade tree ordinance, and the Florida law about arborists, and then native trees and plants. And then, oh, Daniela, the other one you had was the permeability of surfaces. And then just talking about why permeability is important.
I was thinking for this hair day, but I don't think the people is ready. Sometimes you go for some show and event, you have this kind of a comparison between asphalt and thing, and you show with the water. And you
Yeah.
talk about what is happening, the glass and thing.
Yeah,
So maybe how much we
that's a
can
great idea.
visualize, but I don't know if anybody's selling this kind of stuff, have something ready, because it's usually a kind of show things.
Yeah,
Because
that's a great idea, actually.
I don't, but I don't, somebody should be like the seller one, the vendor.
Yeah,
Should have this kind of capability to show
yeah,
one square, show the water, you show the drain.
it's a really good idea. Okay. All right, so I think that's pretty much what we had on the agenda. Let me just double check. So, yeah, so the next meeting date was going to be March 21st, which actually I'm not gonna be here. That's a Tuesday. Yeah, that's spring break. So I think we're gonna need to try and reschedule that. So I'll email Dante. Let me look at the calendar so we can at least propose some times. All right, so March. What about March 28th? This is a Tuesday, the last Tuesday in March.
Probably I cannot be here because we'll be the Sea Trade Show in Miami, cruise things. But
That whole, is it the whole week?
yeah, it's starting from Monday to Friday.
Okay, because either that or,
After that, I leave for Italy. So
okay. Because the other option,
no, but you can put 28. Maybe I can try it.
what about everybody else for the 28th?
Late 2028, I probably won't make it.
No? Yeah, okay. I mean, as long as there's three of us, I mean, I could do the 28th. And then, let me just,
Try. So confirm it's not 21st to 28, right?
28th, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just ask Shantae because she has to put on the schedule, but I see the calendar looks clear right now, so let me just email her.
One thing I meant to add to the agenda, but maybe we could add it to next month, is Mario had spoke to me about workshops. He sent me this, Satellite Beach is doing these, or they did these kind of workshops. They did them like monthly, but maybe we start quarterly or something. If we could add that to the agenda, maybe we could talk a little bit more about it. I'll send this. We could just add to the agenda, I guess sustainability and resiliency workshop. Thank you. And then I'll forward this to Shantae and share it with you guys so that you can we could talk about it if you guys have any ideas about what group we could invite. for them.
Yeah.
And maybe I asked, but I haven't heard back about when would be the best time? Like, when do people show up? I would assume this weekend.
Probably, yeah. Yeah,
That would be, if anybody has a. It's obviously gonna be up to what they wanna do, but I mean, I assume it would be here. Put it on the agenda and then we can talk about it. and we'll take it from there.
all right. Antoine, I'm gonna send you the notes that I took, and I think Kate was taking notes too from the beginning of the meeting. So you have it for the minutes. And then Kate, since you weren't here the last time, Kate was gonna submit the minutes from the last meeting to Shante. All right. Does anybody have any other items that like to discuss? Nope. All right. Get a motion to adjourn the meeting. All right, all in favor? All right, favor. All right. Meeting adjourned. The first time we have everybody here in like a long time. We even had a commissioner, and I feel like we had a great meeting today. Which day is that? Half day? It's April 22nd. Yeah, I just need to do the list. Yeah.